What's good, Washington Commanders fans? All right, little update. What's going on? So much for so forth. There has been a little bit talk, a little bit chatter about what's going on with the sale of the team. Now, there's a bunch of reports came out later this week that specifically stated that hey, um, the Washington Commanders are having another potential guy to team up with Josh Harris. That is Mitchell Rouse. So, which I reported on that earlier this week about them teaming up, equaling $11.8 billion to quote buy to potential bid to buy. Regardless how you cut it, is to buy the team. Making a bid doesn't significant anything about saying, hey, oh, they're gonna bid to buy. A bid is to buy the team. So therefore, I say to buy the team. Now, on top of that, there also has been reports coming out. I mean, man, it's reports coming out all over the place. I mean, it's just you don't know which way to go, which way to believe. You got the Washington Post saying one thing, you got the New York Post saying another thing. But with 2 weeks and a day left, you really the league wants answers. The league wants um, the Commanders to have all bids in place, which it looks like we might hear something this week coming up that the bids might be in place. Daniel Snyder has been talking, saying, "Hey, look, I have what you need. The owners that you might like." So we'll see. Also reported too that the NFL doesn't have the votes to push Daniel Snyder out. So where does that leave the owners? Hoping that Daniel Snyder does have this owner. What if the owners don't like who they have? We all know that the owners really want Jeff Bezos, but are they going to get Jeff Bezos? No, because there's another report that came out saying that Jeff Bezos has signed a confidentiality agreement to make a bid on the Commanders, but is it a little too late? Would his bid be in time before Daniel Snyder don't close out the bids? Could Daniel Snyder don't close out the bids on this weekend? Could Daniel Snyder don't close it out on Monday? Could they close it out by Wednesday? And just for where, hey, we close out the bids, we have everybody that we needed. Now that we have everybody we needed, we don't have to worry about Jeff Bezos now. But also there's a dilemma also saying that, hey, what if the league doesn't want them owners? Would they really want Jeff Bezos? Could this linger on? Well, I read some comments from some people that I posted in a group last night, and they brought up some pretty much interesting things. One comment said, hey, he owns a team. He has a choice to, even if the owner votes to remove him, they don't have to sell. He don't have to sell the team. He does. Well, I guess they spelling was correct. He don't have to sell the team. They don't own the team. The NFL don't own the team. They just vote on a new owner. They'll vote on a new owner. Now, how would that go? How would that process go? Because you still would have to vote Daniel Snyder out to vote a new owner in. And if you don't have the votes to vote him in, how can you vote him out? Then this process will go longer than what is needed to go. Somebody else will say, yes, Snyder owns the team and he negotiates the terms of the sale to the party of his choice. The owner votes to approve the sale. If they don't approve the new owner, then they negotiate a new term of sales, and the owners vote again. The other owner don't sell the team. They just vote to approve a new ownership. But don't that to me sounds like, well, hey, okay, if they don't like if say they don't like Harris or Rouse, and they don't prove the sale of the team, then you have to come up with a new agreement of sale, which could take even longer. You know what I'm saying? Because then Daniel Snyder is still on the team because you don't have the votes to vote him out. And then if he's still selling the team to these guys, then you still gonna have to approve new ownership. You know what I'm saying? So this is where I kept trying to tell people before that Daniel Snyder don't have to sell to Jeff Bezos. He doesn't have, even if Jeff Bezos makes a bid. He, for personal reasons that a lot of us know or don't know, the reason why Daniel Snyder don't like him is beyond my imagination. I have some thoughts on it. I just, I don't exhaust all my thoughts on it. A lot of, but people kept telling me, say, oh, well, he don't have to sell, but the owners will vote him out. Okay, but if they don't have the votes to vote him out, it don't matter. It don't matter. He'll still be there. Now, as us as fans, as y'all Commanders fans out there that's watching this video, listening, we want Daniel Snyder to sell the team. We have been in purgatory with this team for over 30 years. And the thing about it is Daniel Snyder knows this. Now, Daniel Snyder don't have, he could do whatever he want to do, you know what I'm saying? But the league knows that honestly, I believe the league knows that they're in a rock or hard place with Daniel Snyder because of all the stuff. And like some of us said, Daniel Snyder pretty much got stuff on these owners. He got stuff on certain owners, and he got stuff on Roger Goodell. So that's why he said he wanted immunity for whatever would go down from that point on. Now, the league ain't trying to hear it. Roger Goodell ain't trying to hear it. But guess what? Do you believe that if Daniel Snyder don't, if he don't do anything, if they do something to him, what might happen or what might come out? I don't know, guys. To be honest with you, I don't know. And this is why we look at all sales. We look at sales from teams that already have been probably been sold in the last, and it has never taken this long. It has never been this long of a fact just to get a guy out of our ownership of a team. Because I think if the NFL really, really wanted to, because see, you got to think the NFL met last weekend, but there was no talk, no discussion about voting Daniel Snyder out. And this is they probably did have discussion. And his wife, Tanya Snyder, has been there at these meetings. She has to attend these meetings because she's still she's overseeing some of the things and it's with these teams. So what you think? What you thinking? Me personally, I feel like they had some discussions, but they don't have enough leverage to get Daniel Snyder out. Now, everybody, like I said, everybody runs around saying, hey, we all know the team eventually will get sold, but at what capacity, what timing? Now, we all know that now that with Rouse and Harris teaming up, that they pretty much the front runners of this situation right now. They're the front runners. Also, with why is Jeff Bezos signing a confidentiality agreement? What's the case behind that? Is it to a pact with Snyder, or is a pact with the NFL? There got to be something. And I don't know if it's a pact with Snyder, because I don't think Snyder would do a deal with him. Some people say, well, hey, if Jeff Bezos got all this money, he's probably the richest man in the world, blah, blah, blah. regardless if I was a millionaire and I'm dealing with a billionaire, I don't have to take his money just because it's my easy way out. Yeah, Daniel Snyder probably could just took his money and make it an easy way out. But why would he make it easier for another guy to come in to take his team when he can make it as difficult as he want and get the money from somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? Some people say, well, hey, that might be dumb thinking. I'll just take the money. But see, that's the thing about it. Most people are ruled by money. Some of these powerful people are ruled by money. Us as little individuals, yeah, we allow money to rule us because we'll feel like it's the easiest route. It's like almost being a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? You instead of get a job and earn your keep, you find an easy way to make money. So that even though Daniel Snyder got money, he might not have got as much as Bezos, but he do got legal stuff. He's selling his property in Maryland for 49 million. He's supposed to be $1 million in debt. Yeah, $1 million. I think $1 million in debt or $1 billion. It's either or. He's in debt. And so people say, well, hey, take that money. He got all these legal lawsuits, which I think once he sells the team, I think all of these lawsuits is going to go away. I think the only reason why they coming up because he's still the owner of the team. But honestly, I don't think nothing going to come out of this to Daniel Snyder. Once Daniel Snyder sells this team, I think all of this stuff will go away. There's nothing going to happen to him. The man got money to get, just to, do whatever. But the NFL is pushing so hard for this Jeff Bezos sale, which it don't make sense. And now that there was also I'm gonna read something that was pretty interesting too, because somebody said that for those who really think Bezos is still buying, y'all need to go back and listen to what JP Finley had to say Thursday, in which he was on JP Finley and Mitch. And if everybody don't know who that is, that's Brian Mitchell. They have a podcast together. And pretty much saying that Bezos, there was a lot of reports coming out saying that Bezos really wants the Seattle Seahawks instead of Washington. And in order for him to get Washington, I think whatever the confidentiality agreement that might be in could be a pact with Snyder saying, hey, you sell the Washington Post, I give you what you want. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably something in there. Or that could be a pact with the NFL. Hey, you sell the Washington Post. You have nothing to do with the Washington Post. Daniel Snyder most likely to sell you the team. You know what I'm saying? Either or. But I know for a fact, because I lived in Seattle, and I know how bad Jeff Bezos wanted the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks representatives came out and said that the team ain't for sale. But who's to say? Because guess what? Amazon headquarters is in Seattle. Now, he might own the Washington Post in D.C., but guess who holds just about more weight? Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Washington Post is just a newspaper report called thing. Amazon is worldwide. You know what I'm saying? And he's making a lot of money. You got people that work for Amazon, and you heard a lot of bad things about it. So therefore, what will be the beneficial him owning Seattle Seahawks? What, changing the stadium? I think the stadium is, I forgot what the name of the stadium is in Seattle now. Change it into like Amazon something stadium, to represent Amazon. Guess what? A lot of connections with Amazon in the Seattle area, the whole Washington area. You know what I'm saying? Then again, a lot of people, were saying, hey, Jeff Bezos will be good for the Washington Commanders. We could get a state-of-the-art facility and all of this stuff and blase. He could probably there's conflicting reports stating that Jeff Bezos was campaigning against Daniel Snyder for them to change he was on the Redskins name. Some people say, well, if he owns a team, he'll bring the Redskins name back. I don't believe that's the case. Me personally, I don't see Bezos doing that if he was to own the team. I don't see him bringing it back. I just don't think Bezos is the right fit for the Washington Commanders, and I just think he's shrewd. I think he's a businessman, but you got to think Donald Trump is a businessman, but he wasn't a good president. You know what I'm saying? Businessmen don't make good owners of something, especially you got to look at how they own their own companies. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I think Harris and some owners that own sports teams ain't good owners either now. So, I mean, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. But I don't feel like the Commander franchise should mortgage their whole franchise future into Jeff Bezos. Regardless of how much money he has or what he could do, we still could get a state-of-the-art team. I mean, a state-of-the-art stadium, a state-of-the-art facility with Harris, and also on Rouse. You know what I'm saying? We still could get a state-of-the-art. I mean, and I think we will have that state-of-the-art regardless if it ain't Bezos, because guess what? The city and everybody else around the DMV area will go in to help make that happen. They just ain't for it because Dan Snyder is the guy right now. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that is where I look at stuff. This is where I sit back and evaluate stuff. I just don't say it on emotion. Yeah, I read a lot of stuff, you know, from everybody that has this and has that. I do. But at the same time, we got to be realistic and stop thinking so much of emotion and just thinking that one person with all this money is going to turn our good fortune around. I just don't believe that. I really don't believe that. You know, everybody's so giddy or happy. Oh, I can't wait to Jeff Bezos on this team. But what if he turns out to be worse than Snyder? Then guess what? Everybody's going to sit here and looking crazy. But like I said, I got these articles I will post in the description. You know, like I said, the New York Post reporting that the owners do not acquire the 24 votes needed, regardless of what they say they had the votes, saying that this move is always seem unlikely. And one source describes why owners are hesitant to make a president move, because guess what it's going to do? It's going to open the door for now that anything happens with any other owner in the future, they could be out. Pressure could be on them to sell their team. So this is why it's a sticky. And somebody wrote that this is a good old boys club or boys club. Another source close to the NFL owner said, adding he is not surprised that at least a quarter of the owners would not vote against to out Snyder. They want a higher bar, so there is no precedent up for them to be forced to sell their own teams. The source speculate. And see, that's what I'm saying. You got to look at this for what it is. There's a lot of pressure on these owners because, like I said, it opens Pandora's box for anything that happens with these owners. And we know a lot of these owners have done dirt. And it opens up where they could be pressure, investigated, all of this stuff. And, you know, pressure to sell their team. So, hey. So with this potentially, you know, confidentiality agreement with Jeff Bezos, it says it's signaling that he might finally be allowed to enter the bidding process. Source close to Bezos told the Post it was not clear whether Bezos inked the confidentiality pact with Snyder on the NFL, which I disclosed and talked about earlier. You know, despite reports of saying that Dan Snyder was blocking Bezos from bidding and getting access to the team's finances due to the ownership of the Washington Post and the investigations into the team and Snyder. Bezos is the wealthiest bidder who has been linked to the sale and could easily get Snyder $6 billion if he reportedly seeks for the franchise. Who knows? But we have to stay tuned for this and see what's going to happen, man. I think, but also there's another report there. Before I close out, another report stating that they are 4 potential groups right now. So you got one potentially with Furtado and his group. So I wonder what the other groups are. I wonder who the other groups are. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Like I say, you have this week coming up, and you also have the week after to see what's going to happen. Will we get the closeout on the bids this week, where the sale of the team could be in process? Because that's all that needed to have the bids closed out, submit the bids to the ones that bid for the team. Now the NFL has to vote for it, and whatever. Me personally, I just don't see in this business, in this life, in life in general. I never say never, and I always use one of my favorite quotes of all time: "Expect the unexpected." You know what I'm saying? Because when you expect things to go a certain way, the unexpected goes another way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to expect. Expect the unexpected, because with the NFL, we could say, oh, it's Jeff Bezos all day long, but this could go a whole different angle. And you're starting to see that some of this stuff is coming out and is going another whole way. But anyway, let me know what you think. Will this team get sold? Will there be some kind of holdup? Will the owners get the votes that they need to outsource, or do you see this situation lingering on into the regular season if the owners does not approve who Daniel Snyder wants? So we'll see. Until then, guys, this is your boy Livewire, and I'm out.